said that A Quiet Place is going to end up winning Best Sound. I feel like we have a pretty solid lock for Best Costumes when we get to Cruella here. Cruella is going to be our next film. Disney just released their latest live action film. It's not a remake. This is kind of a prequel to 101 Dalmatians about the famous Disney villain Cruella de Vil. And if you ever seen the 101 Dalmatians movies, she's this woman who basically wants to skin dogs and use their fur for clothing. And this movie is her origin story. I did not really care to go in to see this film. I was very hesitant. Yeah, it just kind of came. It kind of was dumped. Disney was like, you know what, we got to get this film out here. Everyone's looking forward to like Black Widow and stuff like that. But we've had this film kind of locked up. Let's just get out Memorial Day weekend and see what happens. I feel like they made the right decision because Cruella is awesome. Like I really had a great time with it. It comes from Craig Gillespie, who Jader knows very well. Directed.
You took my joke. You took my joke.
Tanya.
You took my joke, but yes, that's it. I do know him very well. He caused me to slow down.
Yeah, I mean, I love everything, like all the pieces around this. Craig Gillespie as the director. You have Emma Stone as the title character. Emma Thompson as supporting. Other great supporting performances around there from like Paul Walter Hauser, Joseph Fry, and Mark Strong. And this movie, it doesn't feel Disney, but it also does. It takes Disney in a new direction. It takes it in a punk rock kind of like trying to be more modern in a way instead of this fantasy element to it. And I really enjoyed it. And this movie is just showing how she grew up to become the villain that we know. And it's a good little back and forth that Emma Stone and Emma Thompson have. It works super well. And I really enjoyed it. And Jader, I know you just watched it recently also. What did you think?
Same. Same exact feelings as you, man. Didn't run to go see it. I waited till Monday to go check it out. And I really liked it. I had my issues with it, which we will get into in a bit, but overall I just wasn't expecting this, right? And this is someone from someone that hasn't seen Maleficent 1 or 2. If it's a old school Disney cartoon movie, I've seen it. So like Lion King remake, Jungle Book remake, Aladdin remake, I've seen all those. But for some reason, when it was a spin-off movie, I just, I didn't watch it. And I'm glad I did. I was hesitant. I wanted to go see A Quiet Place again, but we decided, to see something. Steph and I decided to see something we both haven't seen, and I really, really enjoyed it overall. Overall, I really did like it. Same thing. Just the it's a different take on the character. This is again, I just mentioned that I watched all the cartoon movies growing up. Cruella was a very, very evil person. So I'll get into my negative first before jumping into what everything else that worked for me. So we all know, and just like as Kyle mentioned, that she's just an evil person. She, wants to skin puppies and Dalmatians, and it's just that's so cruel. And that for me was, obviously when you think they're making this movie, this is what I'm thinking is what it's gonna lead up to it. And we don't get that. We actually sympathize with this character a lot, and we know, and when she just goes through so much in her life that we see why she turns bad. It's kind of, and you're gonna hear this comparison over and over and over again if you haven't heard it already. It is really like Devil Wears Prada, because it's all about fashion, and it's just like the Meryl Streep and Apprentice and
Mentor.
Yeah, and then you have also the Joker take, where it's it's origins of someone that becomes a villain and so forth. So it really is those two movies meshed in together with with even a little bit of Oceans in it, because they have some heist in it, and so I was expecting this character to just turn evil, like worse and worse, and by the end of the film, I'm like, she's not that bad a person. She's, if they're gonna try to set up a sequel, like based off what I saw already, I'm kind of like, yeah, man, go for it. Like you've had a hard life, and it's not something that I want to do coming from an origin story as like Cruella's origin story.
Yeah.
However, I know that Disney's not going to do something as evil because they have a brand to protect. So I get all that. But that was my main gripe with the film. Now, jumping into what I did like, it was just a fresh take on a character.
Let me ask you this. One of the big things people are talking about from this film is the music. And to me, this was probably my favorite part of the movie. I really enjoyed how the music carries us and keeps the energy up from scene to scene. And everything kind of fits too. It's trying to like emulate this period, this time of London during because this movie's kind of dreary too, as far as colors and stuff. It's, dark outside in London most of the time, and the colors really come from the costumes and stuff. But it emulates this feeling of punk rock, rebellious side, and I really enjoyed how the music takes us from one scene to the next to the next. But did you like the music in this film, Jader?
A lot of people were saying how it didn't work for them, like friends that I talked to and whatnot. And I thought it actually did work for me a lot. I love music. That's not that's not a mystery here or anything like that. And usually, to be completely honest with you, I'm one against the way that they use music, like how they did it in Suicide Squad. But I felt with Suicide Squad, they threw a great song on for a montage that made no sense to it. While in this one, they used it properly. They used the music properly as they were going. And it was nice hearing the Ramones, Nancy Sinatra,
the Doors.
You heard the Rolling Stones at the end of the film. I thought it was used very properly. I really like the music to this. It was one of my favorite things about it, to be completely honest with you. And not only that, Emma Stone and Emma Thompson just crush it. They crush it. Like, you can tell that they had a lot of fun.
Great time. Yeah.
They had a great time doing this. It was such a pleasant surprise. It was, I feel like it's a sleeper. Like, I know it's gonna make its movie because the Disney brand is attached to it, and Disney's always gonna make their money. But it was a good take, man. It was a good take on the character. It was certainly something I was not expecting whatsoever out of this film. So I like when I go into a movie not expecting, and again, I bet you everybody that goes into a movie not expecting it to be as great and coming out and be like, man, that was actually pretty good. Another thing that I feel like slightly hurts this film is the runtime. I feel like it's a little long. They could definitely chopped it up 15, 20 minutes, and you would have had a little bit more combat. And I'm not saying I don't think the pacing is off. I feel like every scene was entertaining, and I was like, man, this should be almost done. And I had looked at what time it was, and I'm like, yeah, it started at 9:00. It should be almost done. And then no, I was still in there for quite a while after that, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, there's a twist in this movie that comes along. I think it comes along a little too late. Not even too late. I would say more of just it takes way too long to even get to this moment, this plot twist that happens. And it starts basically how many Disney movies start. There is some kind of tragedy that happens, and that sets up the character for the rest of it. But it's a fun family film, but also it's really for adults. Kids can enjoy this, but not young kids. I feel like if you're above 10 years old, then this is a good movie for 10-year-old girls and up, and then any adult who goes in to see it, because the music contributes to it. The energy is great. I feel like the characters are really interesting. They have a lot of depth to them, and they can be a little outlandish, yeah, but they're not to the point where it's ridiculous, like you're too far out of it. All the actors do a great job, and I feel like Craig Gillespie, your favorite director out there, this is just something he likes doing.
I don't hate him, right? I hate that I forgot that he directed a certain film. There's a difference.
Well, yeah. So Fright Night, I just rewatched Fright Night a couple days ago too, and I thought about this. He likes doing this with the music. I don't know if you noticed. And I, Tanya, that soundtrack is loaded. There's
Absolutely.
so many songs in that film, and then in this film, it's kind of the same thing. So I'm looking forward to whatever he does next. I really like his style. I like the way he makes. It seems like the actors really enjoy working with him too, and they had a great time doing this. So I give Cruella a recommendation. I think it's something the family could really enjoy watching if you want to go back to theaters, but you can't take your kids to see a horror movie.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't. I honestly didn't see that twist coming. I thought I was predicting certain things on it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen, and this is definitely gonna happen, and this is gonna, and I was hitting some of the marks. But that twist, whether it came late or not for you, I really enjoyed it because I didn't see that coming at all. I was like, oh, I like this. I like where this went.
Mhm.
I think the movie it's kind of undeserving of a PG-13 rating. I guess it's certain things in it that's just a slightly darker, but it's like a strong PG film. I don't think it was anything
Yeah.
crazy.
Um.
So if
There is.
that's it just might need not be appealing to anybody under the age of 12, 13. But if you're afraid to take your kid because you think there's going to be something inappropriate, I don't think there's anything inappropriate in it that you wouldn't be able to take your kid. Like I would show this movie to my daughter if she seemed interested. You know, it's which is funny. I know we're not talking Cruella right now. I mean, Quiet Place, but I should show my daughter Quiet Place. It's a conversation for another day. Anyways, but yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I highly I do recommend this movie. I feel obviously it's some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it. It's just like film itself.
Yeah.
I was just pleasantly surprised, and this is a movie that again, maybe you want if you don't want to run to the theater and watch it, but definitely when it comes out on Disney Plus when it's available, with
It is
the
on Disney Plus right now, so you can
yeah,
buy it on Disney
yeah,
Plus.
but you can buy it for $30. Is what I'm
Mhm.
saying. But if you don't want to go and spend the money, or you can't spend the money, just make sure to stream it once it's available for you because it's definitely a treat of a film. It's a surprise hit, man. It's really really good. So this is another recommendation for me. This was one of the reasons why I was excited for this episode was that. It was the fact that I'm like, man, like the last couple of movies we've gotten, I feel like, hey, we're back in the theater and we actually have
Good.
good movies to watch.